All right, boys and girls, here is chapter 10 of The Frog Princess, and I need to do the same thing I did for chapter 9, and I need to divide it into 2 parts because the chapter is so long. Okay, so here we go. The sound woke me from a restless sleep. Emma, wake up! Still groggy, I lifted my head. At first, I felt disoriented, the cage and the drafty room unfamiliar and threatening. Then I remembered where I was and what was supposed to happen, and suddenly I was wide awake. Emma, wake up! Vannaby's gone! Hurry! I thought of something. I'm awake. I blinked and looked up. Finally, said the bat, and she dropped like a stone from her perch to the stack of books on the shelf. Lil, what are you doing? I have an idea, she panted. I was thinking about your rash, and I remembered this book. Stretching her tether as far as it would go, the bat tugged one of the books off the pile and dropped it onto the shelf. There, she said triumphantly. I think that's the right one. What are you talking about? I asked. How is a book going to help anything? Open it up and take a look. If I remember right, there should be a great spell for getting rid of rashes. This rash isn't my biggest worry now, Lil. I know, but the book with the spell for rashes has lots of other useful spells too. I can't read, so I'm not sure if this is the right book. Go ahead, take a look. But I can't, Lil. I can't do magic. I make a mess of it every time. What are you talking about? All you have to do is read it. You can do that, can't you? Yes, of course, but you don't know me. I can botch even the simplest spells. You should have seen what happened when I tried to clean my chamber using magic. My bed still makes itself whether I'm in it or not. It's up to you. If you'd rather lose your tongue than try, all right, I get your point. I guess it wouldn't hurt to try. I reached for the cover of the book, but my arms weren't long enough to touch it. Even turning sideways and shoving my leg between the bars of the cage wasn't enough. I can't reach it, I said, stretching my leg as far as I could. Hoping to find something that I could use to extend my reach, I looked about my cage. There was nothing close enough to the cage that might be useful. And the only thing inside the cage was Edric, lying on his back with his belly in the air and his limbs flopping at his sides in the most unfrog-like position. His legs were long, longer than mine, and if I could wake him... At first I was gentle, shaking his shoulder, whispering his name and poking him in the ribs. But when that didn't work, I tried more enthusiastic means. Shouting his name just made him twitch in his sleep. Pulling his legs made him roll over. Finally, I tried lightly slapping his cheeks. It wasn't me, Mother, Edric mumbled, brushing my hand away. I would never put a mouse in Nanny's ale, even if she did leave the room to use the privy. I glanced up at the bat, who had returned to her rafter and was hanging upside down watching me. Lil, you said he would probably wake up today, but look at him. What am I going to do? I suppose you could try the remedy used on those nitwits Snow White and Sleeping Beauty. I told you they were given the same potion, remember? Right, I remember now. They were both princesses, and they were both woken by princes, if I remember correctly. And the prince both, Lil, I'm not going to have to kiss him, am I? Only if you want him to wake up. But I told you what happened the last time. I'd be real surprised if you turned into anything else now. But whatever you're going to do, you'd better hurry. You don't have much time. Vannaby won't be gone forever. I know, but, all right. I guess even if we did turn into something else, it wouldn't be worse than being a frog. I squatted beside him and placed my hands on either side of his face. It's funny, I said. He's finally going to get his kiss, and all he had to do was oversleep. I was about to kiss him when something else occurred to me. Lil! I tilted my head to look up at the bat. If I kiss him, and he does wake up, I'm not going to have to marry him, am I? I mean, both of those princes married the girls that they woke up this way. Nah, you won't have to marry him unless you want to. Good. I want to keep my options open. I kept my eyes open as well this time, thinking half seriously that might keep me from turning into something else. His lips were cold and smooth, but just the first time. I had barely taken my lips from him when his eyelids fluttered open and he gazed up into my eyes. Well, hello there, beautiful. Is there something you want to tell me? Edric said, leering froggishly. What do you mean? Don't get me wrong. I like being kissed by beautiful young ladies. I just wasn't expecting it, that's all. I wasn't kissing you. I was, but it was only to wake you up. And I liked it. You can wake me up that way every morning, and put me to sleep that way, too. Edric winked and reached for my shoulders. Pushing his hands away, I hopped to the other side of the cage, giving me space and time I needed to explain. I was kissing you only because you've been asleep since the day before yesterday. I warned you about that worm. But no, you had to eat the worm doused in sleeping potion. You had to sleep when you should have been trying to help me find a way to escape. I've been scared to death while you've been dreaming the time away, and it just wasn't fair. Emma, Edric began. Never mind. We don't have time to talk now. The witch is going to be back soon to chop off our toes and cut out our tongues. Now get up and come help me. We have to look through this book, and I can't reach it. Do you think you can turn the pages? Edric looked thoroughly confused, but he didn't question me. With a long-suffering sigh, he struggled to his feet and hopped to the side of the cage. Crouching down, he stuck his arm between the bars, but it wasn't quite long enough. Maybe your leg, I said. I was overjoyed when his longer legs reached easily. What is it we're looking for? He asked. Turn the pages when I tell you to, I said. I'll let you know when I find it. See if you can find the rash spell first, said Lil. Then we'll know if it's the right book. Edric turned around with a jerk, aware of Lil for the first time. Trying to look nonchalant, he leaned over until his lips brushed my eardrum. Who's the bat? He whispered. She's a friend, I explained. Her name is Lil. Now be quiet and let me read this. I studied the book of spells, concentrating on some while skipping over others. At my direction, Edric slowly turned one page after another until I saw what I wanted near the back of the book. Here it is, I said, pointing to a spell. Rash rid. Rid yourself of that itchy rash in those hard-to-reach places. Lil shifted nervously on her seat atop the stack of books. Try it. It'll be good practice. Do I read this aloud, Lil? Read it with feeling, Emma, and make big, dramatic gestures with your arms. Anything special? No, just dramatic. All right, here goes. I read the spell with as much emotion as I could, waving my arms and gesturing wildly. Red blotches, rosy bumps, itchy spots, scaly lumps. All you rashes here and there, undershirts and underwear. On legs and on feet. Don't look now, you're in retreat. Be gone, rash, and never more. Irritate my tender pore. Despite the closed windows and doors, a blast of cold air blew through the cottage. For the briefest instant, I felt prickly all over. I looked down at my leg. It was the same smooth green as it had been before I got the rash. I twisted around to look at my back. It, too, was smooth and green. All the itchy bumps had disappeared. Great job, said Lil. You know, that works for pimples and boils, too. If you were a human, you'd never have another blemish for the rest of your life. That was amazing. If these spells really work, this book is incredible. Look at some of the other spells, Edric. Here's one for skin softening. It says it'll make your skin as soft as a baby's bottom. You can have the hair color you've always wanted with hair so new. This one's called Body Beautiful. It says you can eat what you want without gaining a pound. I wonder if there's a spell that would make me graceful. They look like a lot of useful beauty tips to me, said Edric. How would any of these help us with this witch? They're not all useless. Look, this could be a big help. Squeak be gone. Squeaky hinges, squeak no more. How about grow right? Grow the biggest vegetables in the marketplace. Easy open. Open any container without breaking a nail. Listen, they're so simple. Using my normal reading voice, I said, unlatch, unlock, undo, untie. In the twinkling of an eye. Open ye lock, lift ye latch, remove ye block, release ye catch. A sound like thunder shook the cottage. A tiny whirlwind twirled debris around and around the room. Then, with a pop, every container in the cottage opened. Lids off boxes, corks flew off bottles, shutters swung open, the door to the cottage slammed back with a crash, the bat's tether twitched loose, and every cage opened with a whoosh. Would you look at that? Exclaimed Lil. Lil, you're a genius. You were right about this book. Ladies, the door is open. Don't just stand there talking, said Edric. Let's get out of here before the witch gets back. Look, there go the mice.